If you thought Paulo Costa looked big this weekend after moving up 2 weight classes last minute, just wait till you see this super heavyweight fight. Or what happens when you try to be sneaky and throw a low kick while distracting your opponent with a glove touch. Or what happens when the only fighter to beat Kamaru Usman as a pro enters the cage in a regional MMA fight in Florida. Man, this is gonna be good. And it's all thanks to Caposa, who you should be following on Twitter at Grabaka_Hitman for even more highlights like this all the time. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Casual, Lawton Vierkant, and this is Caposa's Corner. Kicking us off this week, we are going to RCC Boxing Promotions Intro 17 event in Russia for one fight. Here, we have a middleweight fight that sees Antonio Marcos sitting at a 16-7 record, and he's taking on Arseny Smirnov, who has a 10-1 record. And sticking to our normally scheduled program of first-round finishes, we are just 2 minutes in, and this one looks painful.
Учитывая, что ребята показали на взвешивании под 88 хороший удар, и это все.
A completely unprotected body kick, and Marcos just collapses to the floor in pain. And I will note, it's hard to tell just where this kick lands because it's not quite far enough to be on the liver, but it also looks like his toes almost make contact first right into his stomach. But either way, Arseny just folds him with this single kick. A great first round finish as Arseny gains this win and improves his record to 11-1. Off to visit our friends at KSW 64 in Poland, where they were busy this weekend, so we have 3 fights to show you from this one event. For the first, it is time for Caposa's KO of the week. And this one's gonna be good because it is a super heavyweight fight between Senegalese wrestling champion Bombardier, who only has a 2-0 MMA record, and he's up against KSW legend Mariusz Pudzianowski, who has a 15-7-1 record and has been fighting in KSW since 2009. And I have a quick backstory for this fight, but the whole fight only lasts 18 seconds, so let me tell you after. What's that saying? The bigger they are, the harder they fall, because Bombardier falls face first into the cage after this huge right hand. And this fight has actually been in the works for over 8 months and was scheduled for KSW 59, but Bombardier was hospitalized day of with acute appendicitis. So 7 months later, we're here and finally get this much anticipated fight. Pudzianowski does secure this win of the Battle of the Super Heavyweights and improves his record to 16-7-1. For our second fight at KSW 64, we have a featherweight matchup between Filip Pajic, who has a 15-5-2 record, and he fought one fight in the UFC back in 2016, and his opponent, Daniel Rutkowski, has a 12-2-1 record, and is making his KSW debut. While having flashbacks to Masvidal and Askren, Pajic comes in hot with this flying knee off the rip, and then lands a half-blocked head kick shaking Rutkowski, but this isn't the end. The fight does end up making it to the second round, and man, we love a nice little upset here in MMA.
Well. How the turntables...
Rutkowski lands his own devastating head kick, followed by one lone hammer fist, and this fight is over. These are truly some of my favorite knockouts, and Rutkowski does not disappoint in securing this win, improving his record to 13-2-1, and making one hell of a KSW debut. And for our third and final fight at KSW this week, we have a bantamweight main event title fight that sees current champ Sebastian Shibish with an 8-2 record, and his challenger Bruno Dos Santos has a 10-2 record. So this one is a little slower as we only have a minute and a half left in the third round, but Sebastian lands this slick inverted triangle, and well, there's not really anywhere to go for Santos. Now, it took about 35 seconds for this tap, but there was no way Sebastian was letting go of this one unless the time ran out. What a great performance from him as he gains the win, improves his record to 9-2, and is still your KSW Bantamweight champion. Next up, we're going to British Fighting Championship 1 in England for one fight. Here, we have a featherweight matchup, and it's quick, so just watch.
Will be an event of the evening up, it's very early with a bet.
Oh! And that's it, game
Well, guess it was nap time for someone. Okay, let's rewind. That's Ben Doster, the one trying to be sneaky by throwing a low kick at the glove touch and also making his pro debut. And our gentleman who just knocked the shit out of him, that's Umakan Ibragimov, who only has a 3-1 record. Caposa titled this one Instant Karma Head Kick, and I just couldn't agree anymore, and we love to see it. Ibragimov gets this fantastic highlight reel and improves his record to 4-1 with this devastating head kick. Moving on, we're going to the Road to Shudo Brazil event for one fight. Here, we have a flyweight bout between Victor Fajea in the black shorts, and he's up against Joab Jaropino in the red shorts, and both fighters are making their pro debut. We are just 35 seconds into this fight, and legitimate strobe warning because I'm not sure why this organization decides to do this after a knockout, but here we go.
Muito bem pro Oh! Caiu!
Já foi!
Que isso?
A right hook walk-off KO, and this fight is over just 40 seconds into the first round. Just a huge shot coming from Fajea as he gains this win, secures his first pro win, and makes a great debut. Now we're going to the Nasayo Cyborg 10 event in Brazil for one fight. This is a flyweight matchup, and both are making their debuts as well, and first we have Andrea Oro, and she's taking on Ciel Oliveira. This one has made some rounds on social media already, but we had to include it because we are just 1 minute into the second round and someone's about to go down.
Recuando e deixando os golpes. Reparem na perna da Ciel como tá. Belo golpe! Excelente! É o fim da luta! É o fim da luta, vitória da noite!
Yeah, a back fist, not a spinning back fist, followed by the swarm, and then this fight is over. Unfortunately, we only have this one angle, but what a follow-up with the back fist after missing her right hook, and that secures her her first win and a successful debut. Up next, we are going to Savage MMA, also in Brazil, where we have two fights. For the first, we have a featherweight fight between Felipe Fajea, who has a 6-2 record, and he's up against Wesley Fajea, who has a 1-0 record, and no, there's no relation between the two. And as we near the halfway mark of round one, you gotta remember to watch out for those random flying knees. Dear Lord, unfortunately, this is another one where we only have one angle, but this flying knee sent Felipe down and he was out for almost 2 whole minutes. But he finally comes to and is okay and responding to the doctors. A great performance by Wesley as he gets this highlight reel to look back on and secures the win, improving his record to 2-0. For our second fight at Savage MMA, we have the heavyweight main event that sees Alisson Vicente, who has a 25-19 record, and his opponent, Paulo Henrique, well, he's only making his debut. And I know 25-19 isn't a good record, but dang, he's in his 45th fight and this guy is getting into the cage for the first time. Doesn't quite seem to be fair to me, and it turns out it's not. Did you catch that? It's kinda hard to see, and again, only one angle, but Vicente locks in this knee bar from the top, which is also called a dog bar, and just cranks it, forcing the tap almost instantly. Thankfully, Enrique didn't suffer any damage to his knee, just some anger. And Vicente secures this win and adds another one to his resume. For our last fight this week, we are going to XMMA 3 in Florida, where we have a welterweight bout with Angelo Trevino, who has a 9-4 record and actually competed on the Contender Series back in 2018, which he did lose. And he also trains at Team Alpha Male. And he's taking on Jose Caceres, who has a 15-11 record. And this is the guy we mentioned earlier who actually gave Usman his only loss back in 2013 in the Organization Championship Fighting Alliance. So this fight is in the third and final round, and we are just 45 seconds in, and who's your money on? The Contender Series competitor or the one guy to give Usman a loss?
Oh my God! That's it! That's it! Dang.
That's it! 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 That's it!
Did you guess Trevino? Cause if not, you're wrong, and this huge left hand followed by some of the nastiest elbows I've ever seen absolutely flatlines Jose, who was down for about 3 minutes, but does end up responding and is fine, and this fight is over. Trevino gains this win, improves his record to 10-4, and adds another name to his resume. These videos just keep getting better and better, and we cannot thank Caposa enough, so go give him a follow on Twitter at Grabaka_Hitman, and you can also show him some support by going to his Patreon at patreon.com/Caposa. And a huge thank you to all of these amazing organizations for hosting these events, and to each and every fighter, winners and losers, and we will see you all on the next video. Peace!